Tonight, from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, it's Week 10 of the NFL on EA Sports.
And this will be a touchback as that's the end line. On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. And his first pass is incomplete.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor. And he's got some space here. Breaks through the contact. And he's going to get this all the way down to Washington's 21-yard line. 54 yards rushing for him now as he has gotten the night off to a hot start. Well, welcome to the party. First carry of the game. How about that?
And just think, as far as he's concerned, he's just getting warmed up.
Buying time to his left. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end.
You know, I don't think this is the last time we'll see that in this game. This guy has mobility, and they want to use his legs in the game plan. So there will be designed runs as well as his scrambles.
They'll run here with Taylor. And he'll 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Colts take it right down and score on the opening drive. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Set to return it. Here's Moore. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Tua sets up to pass it. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 29. A huge play there for Washington. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. First carry here for Kene Nwangu. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. Well, look there at his numbers on the ground a week ago. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide. Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
Yeah, I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Tua. They'll set up the screen for Nwangu. Touchdown, Washington. Kene Nwangu. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And Washington now an extra point away from tying this thing up. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. They are currently mired in a losing streak. Now they get the short week for the Thursday night game. Do you see that as a potential positive, or is this just more in what has been really a string of bad luck for them?
Well, to me, it comes down to leadership, and leadership's got to spin it into a positive and make it an advantage for them. Yes, we're in a losing streak. Yes, no one thinks we can win, but we have the resources we need right here in this room. Let's go ahead and play better. Let's hang together and shock the world a little bit. Put it all together, they've got a chance of coming out with a W.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
First down, Bridgewater. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. That's on the tackle, Braden Smith. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Running left, Taylor. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. I tell you what, CD, this Washington defense, very strong in the victory last week.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Bridgewater now. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young able to record his 5th sack of the season. To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have...
And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Quiddy Pay. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. Tell you what, he did not have much time there to scan the field before he was ducking and covering.
Did it appear to you, as it did to me, that the defense in front won their play really quickly? Meaning the guys in front of them had almost no chance to block them. They were on him in a hurry.
Forced out to his left. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback, because instead of forcing something on 3rd down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a first down.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From the gun, it's Tua. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
A good play on the ball, getting a hand on it, but it was tipped up in the air before falling incomplete. And that leads to way too many moments where bad things can happen for a defense and good things can happen for an offense. And this is tough to teach in today's football because everyone wants to make a highlight play. Tip it up in the air, grab it yourself, take it the other way. How do you teach these guys to just make the good, solid, fundamental play of knocking it to the ground and not trying to make a highlight reel play that could backfire?
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And the Colts are going to take over, albeit deep in their own territory. Now Jonathan Taylor and the Colts offense retake center stage. At his current pace, sure looks well in line for a 1,000-yard season, but some of the older... And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. The sack there by Bradley Chubb.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
And that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
So, Party, next time we see this coaching staff, I want you to have my back here because that was really kind of a white flag type of a play, almost a little bit of a surrender. Just turn and hand it to the big guy, get what you can, and be prepared to kick the ball away.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. The time again to see Terry McLaurin in the Washington offense. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them. No matter how many people are put in his direction, it just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has. A tackle made by K.J. Wright. 2nd and 7 with our score tied at 7, but they're planning to change that soon. Only question, will they get 3 or 6 out of it? And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He rifles complete, caught by Moore. And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Chase Edmonds, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And Washington has taken the lead. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Here's Isaiah Rodgers to return. A hit and a loose football. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
As that ball got away from him, and he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. That time a little misdirection really seemed to fool the defense.
And think of it this way. From the time you're in high school, you're taught to watch film and pick up tendencies. Sometimes they can use those against you, though, when they break their own tendencies and hit you back the opposite direction, huh?
On the jet sweep, here comes Moore. And he will make his way back to where he started. From, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. Second down and goal. Tua flushed out right, and he is going to go down back at the 11-yard line. But DeForest Buckner using those big hands and getting in there and bringing him down for the sack. Tua now, 3rd and goal. Touchdown! It's complete. Terry McLaurin with touchdown number 7 on the year. And Washington is able to stretch their lead. Koo able to connect on the extra point, and it's now 21-7. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was polished off by a Washington touchdown. Bringing it out of his end zone, Isaiah Rodgers. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Colt offense and T.Y. Hilton making their way back out. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Oh, Pascal able to haul that one in. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the 1st down sack. Bridgewater. The toss here completed to Pittman. He'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. To throw, Bridgewater. Being chased out left. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. And that one will be no good. He never had it on line. It's well wide to the left, and this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And that is incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. So we have come upon... And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football. As the looking up into the lights, and he muffs it. And he's going to be taken down inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line.
Anytime you feel the kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. DeForest Buckner in on the tackle. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Tua. Steps away to his left. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
And able to haul it in is Kittle. And he's going to get the 1st down as they bring him down at the 23. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off. I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
That's just a pile of bodies. Find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw pulled in by Kittle. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Tua going to throw. And that will be incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the 2nd half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the 1st half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this 2nd half.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the 1st half, and that trend is continuing here.
On 2nd and 12, Bridgewater. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Von Miller able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
That's going to bring up fourth down. Only a gain of 2 there. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
A good starting spot for Washington as they come up 1st and 10.
At the 39-yard line. On play action, here's Tua.
That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Good hands there defensively at 2nd down. Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. Now a man open down the middle of the field. Touchdown, Washington. George Kittle with touchdown number 7 on the year. And Washington going to add on to their lead. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Indianapolis offense ready to go again.
And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those.
And it's intercepted.
Picked off by Noah Igbenogany.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Tua going to tap this forward on the jet sweep.
And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling. Held it to an okay game. That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over.
And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. And his throw here is incomplete.
this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Bridgewater. He'll get this one to Pittman. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Harris Campbell with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Colts are able to cut into this lead. Bridgewater will try and throw. And it's incomplete. But a flag is down here, so hang on. Let's see what we've got. Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
They'll try and throw for it to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was one of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Indy set to go on offense once more. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. They begin the drive with Hines. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now Bridgewater. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Bradley Chubb, his 2nd sack of the night.
I remember throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed.
And he is going to have a Colts 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, Bridgewater. Under pressure, and down he goes. Von Miller able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
The throw over the middle taken in. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Bridgewater from the gun on 3rd down.
And that incomplete, nearly intercepted. And remember, he had his hands on one earlier, had one pick. It could have been his second, but instead it's 4th down.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Colts unable to convert here on 4th down.
And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
Off of play action, Tagovailoa.
And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down.
DeForest Buckner able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing 2nd and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball safely, of course, or go down. The yardage he gave up on that play, that's going to be tough for them to make up.
Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Slings this deep from McLaurin. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. To throw on 2nd and 10, Bridgewater. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there. Throwing is Bridgewater. And that is incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. The 40, 20, 10, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. Down in this one, they needed that score, but they'll have to hold at least for the time being.
You're exactly right. Points that they had to have. As you said, they have to regroup now and see if they can get them another way.
Desperation time. 4th down, Bridgewater. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining.
And Washington will take control of the football in great field position.
They'll run on 1st down. Edmonds. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
42 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. 3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. But right here in this room, and then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Washington, it's a win that might